HTML5 is quickly becoming a standard in layout and presentation, gaining popularity not only for its capabilities and efficiencies in the browser-based desktop world, but also for its consistency and abilities in the worlds of mobile devices, tablets, and other connected devices. The new BrightSign XD line of players adds support for HTML5, bringing these numerous benefits to content developers and end users. Using HTML5 in your BrightSign presentations enables you to create engaging experiences that are familiar to your viewers, allowing them to view content and manipulate touchscreens and input devices in the same way they're used to doing on other common platforms. There are many benefits to developing content in HTML5, including development ease. Chances are you or your web team already create content in familiar HTML, meaning you can start developing content immediately with little or no learning curve, possibly even repurposing existing HTML material. Flexibility. You can create immersive animations and presentations that can be easily edited and even dynamically updated. While BrightSign XD does not support Flash content, many existing presentation technologies, including Flash and video production, can be converted to HTML5 compatible formats for use in your presentations. Interactivity and animation. BrightSign supports JavaScript and jQuery-based actions, scripts, and widgets. Many great interactive and UI elements and widgets already exist in the HTML5 and jQuery combination and can be used or customized for your presentation. Dynamic content. Since HTML5 support in BrightSign can include both local and remote content, you have an entire world of HTML content that can be used in your presentations. Access existing websites or databases, or your own remote location that you manage on the web, and you can update your content anytime at will. Backward compatibility. The HTML5 spec is backward compatible with previous versions of HTML. Though HTML5 is the most current and capable version of HTML, with native support for video, animations, and other rich media experiences, legacy HTML content can be used and rendered on BrightSign as well. Example HTML5 uses include content layout, natively embedded video, audio, and images, music widgets, slideshows, weather widgets, clocks and calendars, news tickers, animations, touchscreen keyboards, dynamic data charts, and more. There are a few things to note about HTML5 with BrightSign. First, BrightSign uses WebKit HTML5 rendering and supports most HTML5 actions and CSS3 for styling and formatting. Also, content can be local, hosted on the BrightSign SD card, or remote from the World Wide Web. All content needs to live within a typical site directory structure. This directory should be kept clean of PSDs and other working files. BrightSign will not stream media remotely. Therefore, all rich media such as video and audio needs to be hosted locally. HTML5 site development should be sized exactly to your BrightAuthor HTML5 zone. Any HTML5 elements built larger than the zone will simply be cropped. Some transform functions within the HTML5 canvas spec are not yet supported. It's always best to test each of your presentations thoroughly before using them publicly. Please check the BrightSign website for updates. With those points in mind, we can start crafting the presentation we envision. We'll start by creating our HTML content. For the sake of this presentation, we'll simply create a single full-screen presentation at 1920 by 1080 pixels, since we know that's the resolution of our display. However, you can use any size zone for HTML5, and even multiple zones, all referencing separate HTML5-based directories. We'll include a title, some content, a video, a useful highlights list, and a weather widget related to the topic. You're free to code your pages by hand, but generally it's easier to use an integrated development environment. There are plenty of IDE options, but we'll be using Dreamweaver in this example. We'll start building our layout with standard HTML and CSS3, laying out our elements as we planned. We'll start with a page title and short paragraph. After that, we want to include some video playback. We'll use the standard HTML5 video tags referencing our locally hosted video file. After wrapping up the rest of our content, we'll focus on the weather widget. This will add a live and dynamic element to our presentation. We found one on the web that we like, included the code and all the referenced files into our site directory, and customized it a bit to match our look and feel. We then fine-tune it and thoroughly test it locally. This same approach can be used for any variety of JavaScript-driven apps to provide live news, clocks, calendars, and more. Next, in BrightAuthor, we'll create a new BrightSign presentation. As we're planning to create a single-zone, full-screen presentation, we'll choose that here. We'll drag the HTML5 element from the Other tab to the Zone playlist. This will present us with the Properties dialog for our HTML5 zone. We'll start by giving the HTML5 state a name. If using local content, we can point the presentation to the content directory here. Your presentation should be structured in the site directory like a typical website. All media needs to be hosted within the site directory. If you're referencing a remote site including other web properties or your own site that's hosted on the web, you'll enter that URL location here. You also have options to enable external data, mouse and touch events for interactivity, and whether or not to show the cursor depending on the style of your presentation. You can treat the HTML5 zone like any other media type by having it time out before proceeding to the next media item in the playlist. This Time on Screen option allows your presentation to show the HTML5 element for a specified time before proceeding to the next playlist item or programmed command. It should be noted that the HTML5 element can be used with your presentation set to interactive authoring mode for more complex or interactive projects. Now all we have to do is publish our presentation and power it up on our BrightSign unit. If using local content, BrightAuthor will automatically include all the associated files from our directory, copying them to the SD card. And that's it. We've created an HTML5-based presentation, complete with layout of static content, video, and a dynamic weather widget. HTML5 is an exciting movement in the development world, and there are a great number of resources on the web available for learning or understanding HTML5 better. We hope HTML5 support in the new BrightSign XD line of players will help you to think in new ways to engage your customers, enhance your presentations, and get your message across.